Okay, in this video we're going to look at the chords for Fish in a Hole by Tim Goodin, and we'll get into the chart maybe in a separate video, but let's just look at the chords. So again, the chords are real basic. This is a great song, and again kind of that country folk genre, and the chords really for the whole song are G, C, and D, which we've looked at. So at the top row up there, you can see sort of that standard G, right, which means let's put our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, our pointer finger on the 5th string on the 2nd fret, and then we put our ring finger or our pinky on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Okay, and that's a standard G. A standard open C chord would be 3rd finger or ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, the 2nd finger, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then the 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. And you would strum strings 1 through 5. You'd leave this top E, this lowest E, alone. And then the D is simply placing your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, and then skip a string and go up to the 3rd string with your 1st finger and put it on the 2nd fret there. And there's your D. Now, what's interesting is when Tim does this song, and of course he's adding some embellishments and some other notes in there, doing a little bit of flat picking, but this is the 3 basic chords, but he is most of the time playing the G and the C a little bit differently, and that's what you see in the 2nd line of this chart. And so this is a very popular kind of a progression that's used in a lot of country and a lot of rock and roll. And that's to start with a G chord that's a little bit bigger, and then going to what we call a C add 9. And you can just think of it as a C chord if you want to. But there's very little movement between the two of them, but it's a real nice sound as you can hear it, and you'll start to recognize that this is in a lot of rock and roll and a lot of country music. So how do you play those 2 chords? Well, again, your G that have your standard G, you would just modify that a little bit, and the way I would do it is I would put my little finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Now put your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then as normal, put your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, and then your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. And this, I kind of call it a big G chord. All right, so these 2 notes here on the top, well, one we've always played is the G, that high one, that is a G. And then this is actually part of the chord too, by putting that ring finger down on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. You're just adding an extra D in there. And then the top 2 strings, the 5th and 6th strings, are like they always are. And to create that C add 9, all you do is take your top 2 fingers and move each finger down. Keep them in the same formation, move each finger down 1 string. So now you've got a pinky on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, ring finger on the 2nd or the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then the C add 9, what you've done is you've got your middle finger on the 5th string on the 3rd fret, and you've got your pointer finger on the 4th string on the 2nd fret. So all you've really done is moved the top 2 strings or the top two fingers down to the next two strings. So it's really, and all you have to do when you're playing it is move those two fingers. Give that a try, and then next time we'll look at the chart.